Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So for today, what I'm doing is a little bit of an advice video because I don't know, I thought it would be fun. This is kind of inspired by Dan Howell's internet support group. However, there will be less intoxication. The beverage I have with me is actually ice water, not alcohol. No offense, Dan, I love you. So I asked on a Google form, which I put in the link in my TikTok bio, which is Olivia Howelter, in case you are not already following me on there, and asked you for questions that you want advice on. I think it's important that I mention I am not a therapist. Clearly, kind of weird if I had a degree in psychology at the age of 15. So I am not qualified to be giving any of this information. Therefore, if you take my advice and it ends up failing miserably, don't blame it on me. You know, before, like when you give your friends advice and then you like go on a rant for like 10 minutes about what you think they should do, and then at the end you're like,
I mean, I don't know though, like it's up to you.
That's the kind of disclaimer I'm giving you right now, by the way. I'm gonna open the Google form on my laptop and I'm gonna answer some questions. I'm gonna try to do this to my best ability. Okay, what's your best advice for dealing with stress? This is difficult for me because I've been dealing with a lot of stress lately, as I'm sure a lot of us have been with, you know, coronavirus and online school and just the new way of life, basically. I'm sure a lot of people are also finding it stressful. It's not just me. But ways I try to cope with it is I'll watch like a comfort YouTube video or listen to some music to try and like calm myself down. This is what I do before bed. Like when I'm lying in bed, before I actually fall asleep, I will do these things. Because if I just go straight to bed, I'm going to be stressing about all of the things that happen throughout the day or things that I have to think about in the like next couple weeks or something like that. So I kind of need that little distraction before I go to bed, because otherwise it's just going to be like all my thoughts in my head, and sometimes that's a lot. So that's kind of how I deal with stress. Yeah, that's all I can really tell you. Do you believe that your friend's ex is off limits? What about if they were never technically dating and they were just talking? Okay, I've never dated anyone before, but I'm going to give my 2 cents. Maybe you'll agree with me, maybe you won't. So if, like you said, if they were just in the talking phase, I feel like that doesn't really count, because a talking phase is not super serious. They were just getting to know each other, you know? Especially if nothing happened between them, like if they never did anything romantically or anything like that, like if they were just like texting each other, then yeah, I think it's perfectly fine if you start talking to them. But I think it's important that you ask your friend about it first, and then you don't just go behind their back and start talking to that person. So I think as long as they're fine with it. But if it's like an actual ex, like they were dating, I think it kind of depends, because here's the thing. Like I know the whole thing about like girl code and stuff like that, but then at the same time, like you can't really help who you have a crush on. Like as much as you don't want to hurt your friends, like you could also be missing out on an opportunity. I don't know if that makes me sound selfish for saying that, but like I don't know, like it's a really tricky thing. But honestly, I think the best thing that I can tell you is that if you talk to your friend, and I mean like you have to seriously talk to them, because if you just like ask them like casually, they might just be like, oh, okay, because they don't want to actually tell you. But you need to be like, no, like seriously tell me, like, am I being a bad friend if I do this? That's honestly all I can really say. I don't really know. It's kind of a difficult situation. I'm really stressed about picking courses because it feels like I must have my entire life planned out when I'm only a teen. What should I do? I was stressed about this too. It's a very stressful thing, and it's kind of a weird system. It's a weird system that we have to choose courses that can like plan out our entire future and like the job we want to do. It's a lot of pressure, especially for a teenager. Here's the thing that stresses me out. What if my interests change in like the next 2 years and then I can't just like change it? I mean, like technically I could. Like I know there's people who go back to school, but that just seems like, I don't know, like it just seems like a lot to go back to school, and I don't think I would want to go back to school if I'm being totally honest. Okay, here's the one thing I can say. If you are passionate about something that you know can be a career, like let's just say you're really into painting, you know, that's something that you could pursue. Like you could go to school for art. So I think if you do have something that you are passionate in, that you should go for it, because you shouldn't be doing something that like your parents want you to do, because that's not something that you're passionate in. It's something that your parents is passionate in. And I know this sounds like a Disney Channel original movie storyline, you know, when they have like the main character and they like blow up at their parents and they're like, it's not my dream, it's your dream, that kind of thing. That's what I'm trying to say right now, basically. You have to be passionate about what you want to do, because if you are going to be doing it for a large portion of your life, you have to actually be enjoying it. How do you maintain a healthy relationship? Okay, so you didn't really get specific, so I'm just gonna generalize this for any relationship, like a platonic relationship, a romantic relationship, relationship like with your family member, that kind of thing. So I'm just going to sort of generalize it for all of those. I think the key part of having a stable and healthy relationship is communication, because most of the time when you get into an argument or something like that, it's because someone misinterpreted something, or they took it the wrong way, or they just misheard you, and that's usually where arguments begin. So I think what you need to do is, confrontation. I know a lot of people are scared of confrontation. I'm scared of confrontation, but it's a necessary thing that needs to happen if you want your relationships to grow and to actually move forward. Because if you don't confront them about how you're feeling, or if you don't tell them that like you think that they did something wrong, you're not going to get anywhere, because they're just going to keep doing the same thing because they don't realize that they've upset you. So you have to tell them. Also, when it comes to confrontation, what I think you shouldn't, like, let's just say they do something to upset you. I don't think you should confront them right away. Now, this depends though. Like, if it's a little thing that upsets you, yeah, you can confront it afterwards. But if it's like a big argument, I don't think you should do it right away, because I think you should sleep on it. Think a little bit about what you want to say so that you're not just like screaming at each other, because when you're screaming at each other, you're not hearing the other person out, because you're just so angry and you're yelling about what you want to say, and then the other person is yelling about what they want to say, and it's just like a screaming match, and that's not going to get you anywhere. So I think you both need to be calm. So that's what I think the biggest thing is, honestly, just communication. Do you have any advice for starting a new YouTube channel? Okay. So I think you have to have like some sort of inspiration. At least that's what happened for me. I've been watching YouTube for like a long time. I love YouTubers. The first person that like I mean, you guys will know this by now if you watch my YouTube videos, is Zoella. She's a massive inspiration to me. I always wanted to be like her. And more recently, you can see I've posted them right there. Dan and Phil have been a big inspiration to me, and I got their book from like 2015. I know I'm late to the bandwagon. The Amazing Book Is Not on Fire, and they had a little segment in there about starting your own YouTube channel, kind of like, you know, how to create a channel name, what kind of content you should be making and stuff like that. And that kind of gave me a little bit of a like spark, and I was like, oh, maybe I should do that, because I had been thinking about it for a really long time. Also, I think just encouragement from like your friends, because that's the thing that actually made me get a channel. I don't think she'll mind me saying this, but my friend Colleen, she was the one who like gave me the final push. So thanks, Colleen. Love you. So yeah, but I can also understand if you don't want to tell like your friends from school or something like that, because, you know, having a YouTube channel could be kind of embarrassing to some people. I don't know. I don't really care. I had a beauty account when I was in grade 5. I don't really care. As long as you like want to do it, like an idea of what you want to do, then really I think go for it. If you're the person that asked this question, I say go for it. Create a YouTube channel. Okay. How do I tell my family that my mental health is getting really bad? So this, again, you guys are asking really good questions. This is a very difficult thing. First off, I think you need to make sure that you are in a safe environment to do this. And see, okay, a lot of people I've heard the comparison of like your mental health is just as important as your physical health. Like if you had a stomach ache, you would tell your family because there could be something wrong. Just like how if you have like if you're having really bad mental health, you should also tell your family. But like it's a good comparison, but at the same time it's kind of a strange comparison because mental health is something that's a very serious topic. So is physical health, but there's a lot of stigma around mental health, and so I think a lot of people are not educated on it. And so if they just see you lying in bed all day, they're just gonna be like, oh my god, she's lazy, not that, oh, she might have depression. So honestly, I think you need to sit down with them and be like, listen, I'm struggling and I just need you to know this. Like if you want to strive towards bettering your mental health and being the best version of yourself, you need to tell other people, because otherwise like they can help you. Even though it's really scary, they can help you. And maybe if you want like therapy or something like that, they can be there to support you through that. Like I said, mental health is very important. Okay, the final one I think is kind of funny because it's not advice. It just says, is water wet? Final answer, water is not wet. Water is the thing that makes things wet. That's the tea. Okay, so those are all the questions I'm going to be answering and giving advice on. There were some other ones, but those were the ones that I felt I could be able to talk about the most. So hopefully that helped you if you were one of the people that asked for advice. And yeah, that's about it, I guess. So I will see you all very soon in my next video. Okay, bye!